Hey guys, Lex here, back for some more of the Great Ace Attorney. Last time we explored Natsume's room, met up with Sholmes again, and now let's head back down to the Garrideb's. 19th of February, Mr. Garrideb's room. Ah, you pair again. Tell me, was the detective chap, I forget his name, still hard at work down there?
Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
Ah yes, rings a vague bell. All that detective business isn't really my thing, I'm afraid. Well, Mr. Sholmes is in his element down there. Jolly good show. Another cup of tea, if you please, Joe. Now then, why don't you tell me what...
Oh, God! For the umpteenth time, woman, will you watch what you're bally well doing? I shall be serving dinner shortly, sir.
Ah, yes, of course. Frightfully rude of me, but I'm afraid I shall have to ask you to take your leave, if you be so kind.
Oh, yes, of course. We are grateful for all your assistance.
Not at all, not at all. Don't get much chance to talk with young foreigners like yourselves. It's been a pleasure. Best of luck and all that. Perhaps you could see yourselves out. According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrideb is hiding something. Since no other avenues of investigation seem open to us at the moment, perhaps we should do some digging.
What the hell?
Ah, what's he doing over there? He has a window.
Mr. Sholmes!
Aha, we meet again, my dear fellows.
Good gracious! When did you sneak in there?
Herlock Sholmes, sir, at your service.
Whatever were you doing over by the window?
I am given to watching the evening sky as the sun sets, madam. Yet sadly, cheerful as the room downstairs undoubtedly is, it lacks an aperture for such observation. So I took liberty of borrowing a small corner of space by the window up here. Well, keeping an eye to one's windows at dusk is a prudent thing to do in London, I'm gathering. Ah, and one other thing, Mr. Nerhado. Oh, me? I thought perhaps you might be in need of a certain great detective's great mind. Oh, wait, he's not talking about, is he? I didn't expect to be going through that again so soon.
You mean, Mr. Sholmes?
There's a mighty secret in this modest room. My eyes see even the most trivial of trifles. I take it you're prepared, Mr. Naruhodo. I think so. There is just time enough for one of my greatly admired great deductions. Let us conclude the matter before dark. Yay! Mr. Garrideb, though it would seem you are a military man of considerably distinguished service, your standing as a landlord is most certainly not what one might call first rate. I'm afraid, sir, that is all too clear to me. There are two conclusions I have been able to draw by careful observation of your living arrangements. I beg your pardon. The first is that even as we speak, you are concealing the presence of a ferocious beast in your care.
Ah!
And the second is that the result of the beast, a violent rampage, you have lost something very dear to you.
Mr. Nerhado, look!
The old man's broken into a cold sweat. Unbelievably, it seems Mr. Sholmes' conclusions are both spot on. How? How could you possibly? How could I possibly know? You mean to inquire? The answer couldn't be simpler, sir. or in the dense jungle of logic and reasoning. I am the king of beasts.
Oh,
I know only too well that wild beasts are not easily tamed. So, shall we begin? Once again, Erlock Sholmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. The game is afoot. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus, we are faced with the question, what form might that beast take? Ah, for a man with military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Aye. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by that lion statue. Yes, though an army man, you appear unimposing at best. A fact that has fueled your admiration for this mighty lion, the king of beasts.
what the piffle, I ask you?
In the end, your admiration became so great, in fact, that you had a living, breathing specimen shipped from India, which you tried to keep in this very house.
What?
Yet living with such a wild beast proved more difficult than you had imagined. The chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence. Well, yet as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam?
Me?
I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me with one glance in your direction.
It is?
Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue to the priest's current whereabouts. For protruding from it is a handbill advertising a circus show.
Ah.
Yes, you sought to dispose of this terrifying lion, Mr. Garrideb. At Batty Circus. A traveling show currently sojourning in the nearby park. I have observed the tents. You sold the savage lion, sir, to the circus troupe.
I most certainly did not.
I believe I have made my point. The fearsome beast which ran amok in this room was an Indian lion. A simple visit to the circus now will reveal the lion prancing jubilantly through a ring of fire. Rampaging Asiatic lion. Aftermath. Now, Mr. Garrideb, it is plainly clear that you still have deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, the distress this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavily on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Amid fits of fears, you let your beloved beast go. The strain of losing something so dear to you is clearly visible on your visage.
Nonsense, man. I am simply...
But what we must now ask ourselves is the true cause of this pain. You need only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Every envelope contains another demand for payment.
Ah.
For cartloads of meat, potatoes, wheat, and tea. Indeed, feeding your beloved has had such devastating impact on your financial circumstances of your household. And And so you had no choice but to let it go.
Yes, well,
Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack.
unimaginable.
The aftermath, which can clearly be seen by observing the carpet over there. A very expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, dearie me.
What could have caused such a destructive outburst? This time, madam, I'm afraid it is you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we only need to look at the Tower of Cakes. There's no creature more dangerous on this earth than a beast with an unsatiated appetite. Was it or was it not once said by a certain noblewoman, if they have no bread, let them eat cake? Food is at the heart of all tragedy, in fact.
Whatever do you mean?
Having tired of the taste of cake, the beast began to stalk its next prey. I'm sure I need not spell out the nature of this final act of destruction carried out by the beast. There's only one logical conclusion. Worked into a frenzy by hunger, the lion attacked and ate the carpet. The teeth marks in the carpet are a perfect match with those of a lion I once saw in India. Carpet gnawed on by the starving lion. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this beastly puzzle.
What? What is the matter with you, Joan? You're pouring scalding hot tea all over me. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Garrideb. I'm afraid I didn't notice.
My deductions can be startlingly sharp. It stands to reason that your cup runneth over. Indeed, my revelations can make people spill tears at times too.
Oh.
Mr. Sholmes, sorry to butt in again, but could I make an observation? Why certainly, Mr. Naruto. What is it again? Well, your deductions just now. Do you really think a lion could have fit inside a room of this size? Indeed, it was the only explanation for the facts. The terrifying truth all too often lies beyond the realms of common sense. But wouldn't it be an idea to consider what lies inside the realms of common sense as well?
But if an uncaged lion ran amok around in this very room, surely Mr. Garrideb and this maid would have been hurt, or worse.
Ah, that's where you're stuck? No doubt the former military man held his own against the beast using that large cannon. I thought you said they sold the lion to the circus.
And what about the food? Meat and potatoes are one thing. But I don't believe I have ever heard of a lion that drinks tea.
Ah, my dear Miss Sasato, it occurs to me with some regularity that irrespective of race and breeding, whenever one lands on the great British soil, they are infused with a highly appropriate taste for afternoon tea.
Oh, what a glorious notion. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's your turn to shine again.
I had a feeling that was coming.
A slight massage, that's all Mr. Sholmes' deductions need. You can do it!
Excellent. I've been waiting for my trusty partner in deduction to step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. We don't even know yet whether or not this is going to help with Mr. Natsume's case. Still, uncovering the truth is always worthwhile. Why whatever the motivation. At least, that's what I want to believe. Let us start again. From the beginning of Mr. Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. See. It certainly shouldn't take a great detective to see that a fearsome beast has been on the rampage of late within these four walls. Thus we are faced with a question, from what form might this beast take? Ah, for a man with a military breeding, your eyes are uncommonly candid. Aye. Your furtive glance, Mr. Garrideb, leads us directly to the answer. The true nature of the beast, as run rampant here, is revealed by the lion statue. I really didn't see the lion thing coming.
No, but if you observe Mr. Garrideb's reaction, it rather seems as though some beast did indeed run amok here in this room.
Yes, something with a very fierce nature.
But it couldn't have been a lion transported from India.
So what was it then?
We must follow Mr. Garrideb's case. That will lead us to the true answer.
Yeah, it's Natsume's cat. Oh. Wait. What's this? What is this photograph?
It appears to be from Mr. Garrideb's wedding. He looks very happy, doesn't he?
He does, but you can't make out his bride.
No, how unfortunate. Something must have struck the glass directly over the woman's face.
I wonder what happened. Probably best not delve too deeply here. Can I do anything else? So it is that picture. So the maid is actually the wife. The maid. And you're just pretending to be a maid so they could look so they could look middle class.
Take that!
Behind the lion statue of the mantelpiece, almost deliberately hidden from view, is a photograph. Though I've yet to examine in detail, I assure you it holds the answer. Because I'm employing Did I mess up? Well, I messed up.
Well, what do we know?
What's the shell? These are shells for a cannon, are they? What a strange place to keep them.
I imagine they have some significance to Mr. Garrideb from his time in the army. Oh, of course, he mentioned the battle to us before, didn't he? Do you remember? He said he'd been shot in the knee. Perhaps it was one of these that did it.
If a round that size had hit his knee, there'd be nothing left of it, or Mr. Garrideb for that matter. Mr. Sholmes has a Persian slipper, and that man has spent shells. Perhaps it's customary in Britain to display, well, rubbish on the mantelpiece. Well, I guess I gotta look at it. Well, this is the lion statue Mr. Sholmes picked out.
Yes, I wonder. Perhaps if he did live with the lion, it would prove to be a rather sweet companion.
I think that's likely a mouse trying to tell its family that the cat around the house is sweet.
I suppose it is a bit of a flight of fancy, isn't it?
Anyway, the beast we're looking for is something else. Have a good look around. Was it the shell? Oh.
glass is broken, so you can't see the bride's face at all.
No amount of cracks could hide the woman's plump form.
I think powerful would be kinder than plump, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, she certainly looks like there's lots of horsepower there. Not someone you'd want to upset, that's for sure.
Oh look, have you noticed their wedding ring? It's very large, isn't it?
I can't see it. Yes, that's an unusual design. Oh wait, that's her head?
It looks like some sort of embellished sunflower.
I also have to... Did I do his face? That's probably what I did last time. Oh, I did just the picture frame, I didn't do the actual... The true nature of the beast that has run rampant here is revealed by the newlywed bride. Precisely, Mr. Naruhodo. No other explanation could possibly fit. That's why I picked the lion. Yes, this framed print pictures your wife, Mr. Garrideb. And while we lament the fact that her face is obscured, you can still make out her mighty arms and denote the considerable horsepower they must contain. Indeed, surely any woman of such powerful constitution would be honored to be described as a beast. Honored might be stretching it, but... Too late. The fact remains that the beast which so clearly savaged this room was your wife, Mr. Garrideb. Chilling traces of a wild rampage are still very much in evidence.
Well...
Yet, as we look around, the beast in question fails to present itself. Where could this angry creature have disappeared to? Madam?
Me?
I pray you do not consider me unchivalrous, but it is plain to me that with one glance in your direction...
It is?
Your dress pocket gives us a handsome clue as to the base current whereabouts.
The poor, fragile, defenseless woman is beside herself.
Well, I don't know about fragile.
Oh, dear. Anyway, Mr. Shrums is quite right. There's no sign of Miss Garrideb anywhere.
But it seems there may be a clue as to her whereabouts. And a clue that this maid is trying to hide. I wonder where Miss Garrideb's wife could be. The finger, ring. Oh, come on. There. Oh, I meant to submit, whatever. She's wearing a very large ring, look.
Oh yes, a sunflower design with some rather nice embellishments. And it's on the ring finger of her left hand, which means it's surely a wedding ring.
It looks like it's on there for life too. I can't imagine it would slide off a finger of that size.
That's something to think, Mr. Naruhodo, not to say. Do you know, Mr. Garrideb's wife in the photograph had a ring very much like this one. It was a large sunflower design as well.
Really? You have a great memory of these things that happened a few seconds ago. A large sunflower wedding ring. It's quite a coincidence that they have the same ring, isn't it? Yeah. I was supposed to press Y, not A. Your wedding ring gives us a handsome clue as to the beast's current whereabouts.
Oh!
Indeed it does. That flowery band gleaming on your finger gives you away. For it is identical to the one shown in the hand as Mr. Garrideb's bride in this photographic print. In other words, you are no ordinary household maid.
Oh.
No. You are Miss Garrideb's lucky bride. You are Mrs. Garrideb herself.
Oh my. What?
Well, jolly fine detecting, sir. As you rightly surmised, this is my wife. Yes, my Joan. Rather let herself go, you might say, but she really would appear you that you don't live in the most comfortable of circumstances. After all, you are a retired army man, yet you are in the business of renting out rooms. I would assume, therefore, you have insufficient means to employ a maid. Would that be correct? It's not right, I tell you. I was second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment. A man has his pride, don't you know? My golly, it's a sorry thing when a chap can't even afford to have a single maid in his employ. Yes, here in London one is rather judged. A household cannot be considered worthy of society if it employs no staff at all. Though in my considered opinion, such concerns about appearances are folly. You mean Mr. Garrideb as his wife, work as his maid? Precisely. Am I right, Mr. Garrideb? Only in company, obviously. But listen here, this must remain secret. Tip-top secret, please. The raging wife of Mr. Garrideb. Now, Mr. Garrideb, it is plainly clear that you have a deep feelings for this formidable beast. Indeed, in that blithe pose, this distrust this loss has caused you is veritably tangible. Your head weighs heavily on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that supporting arm. Mr. Sholmes is something. He's still calling Mr. Garrideb's wife a beast.
Yes, as a woman, that feels rather uncomfortable.
But Mrs. Garrideb is standing beside her husband as we speak. In other words, he hasn't lost his beloved at all, has he?
Oh, how true. So perhaps that supporting arm that seems to be propping up his head has some other significance then.
According to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Garrideb's pain is tangible, though. What could that pose of his really signify? Slapped cheek.
Take that!
Your head weighs heavy on your shoulders, the pain you feel being revealed by that slapped cheek. And of course, the deliverer of that impressive mark on your cheek that refuses to fade. Was you, Madame Joan Garrideb?
Oh, yes.
You've been desperate to hide the slap on your cheek, sir. Ah! How are the places? How did you work that out, man? Nothing escapes the notice of one trained in the art of observation, my dear fellow. That's why you haven't looked directly at us even once. I saw that his face showed the mark earlier. But, oh well. Keep your other side from view. Well, Now, let us proceed to the next conundrum. Why are you subjected to such a violent slap? In other words, we must ask ourselves what caused Madame Garrideb to fly into a rage. And we only follow the direction of your gaze to find the answer. Yes, it is this pile of bills that has given rise to the pain you suffer.
Didn't Mr. Sholmes say the bills were all for lion fodder?
Yes, but now we've established that the line never existed, which can only mean that the thing responsible for gobbling all that food was Mr. Garrideb's wife.
Mr. Naruto, she's a person, not a thing.
Yes, well, she's also a person who gave her husband a mighty slap around the face. One so hard it left a perfect hand mark, in fact.
Yes, why would a woman want to hit her husband with such force, I wonder?
I'd love to know the answer to that question.
Oh? What's this? Ah, someone must have been reading this book at the moment. There's a bookmark here too. Mr. Garrideb is clearly an avid reader.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is a bookmark.
Oh no, so it isn't. It's a note written in a woman's hand. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary.
Look, next to the signature here.
Lip marks made with lipstick. Oh, what a passionate and romantic gesture.
Don't get any ideas, Sasato-san.
Dear, I'm sorry.
So this bookmark is actually a love note then. Ooh.
Take that!
Yes, it is this love note that has given rise to the pain you suffer. Oh, James, I love you. Yours, Mary. Passionate indeed. Perhaps the sender of this note, a certain Miss Mary, is the fly in the ointment here.
Ah! What? I don't know that Polly woman.
You don't know her?
That note wasn't written to me. It was just in the book. I don't know how it got there.
It was just in there, you say.
That's right, that's what I've been saying. Oh, my balls. Likely story. Now listen here, Joan, you old thing. I explained it at the time.
So that's Natsume's card?
I bought the book at that second-hand place. That note must have already been there.
So the previous owner of this book was using the note as a bookmark, you mean?
That's right. That's what I've been saying. Oh. A likely story. For heaven's sake, woman, look at the name. It was written to James. My name is, in case you have forgotten, is John. Oh my god. Likely story. Are you questioning my name now?
And there we have it. Arouse the suspicion of the female heart, and you unleash a beast with the most ferocious bite.
Ah.
Now, in a final fit of rage, the ferocious beast carried out one last unimaginable attack.
Unimaginable?
The aftermath of which can clearly be seen by observing the carpet over there. An expensive woolen carpet, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh dear me.
What could have caused such a destructive outburst?
Oh.
This time, madam, I'm afraid it was you who has inadvertently revealed the truth to me. Your wandering eye has settled upon the answer very neatly indeed. Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we only need to look at the Tower of Cakes.
But surely Miss Garrideb didn't eat the carpet.
No, of course not. But there doesn't seem to be any doubt that the state of the disarray in this room is a result of her wild temper.
Oh, that's true. So this is the last part of Mr. Shrump's deduction that we need to fix. We need only to follow Mrs. Garrideb's gaze, and that will tell us the real answer.
Alright, let's see what we can see.
Yes.
It's the candle. Come on. Okay then.
This looks like a very old candlestick, doesn't it?
The base looks too small. Surely it's very unstable. Looks to me like even the slightest knock would make it topple over.
Oh dear, that would be dangerous.
Wait, take a closer look at this. There's one candle missing.
Yes, I didn't notice that before.
Why is that, I wonder? Why is one candle of the three missing from its holder? Where did it? The carpet here has been ripped to shreds.
Yes, and according to Mr. Shrum's deduction, the tears match those exactly by Indian lion's teeth exactly.
Oh, look there.
What is it?
If you look closely at the edge, you can see the scorch marks.
Oh yes, you can. In that case, perhaps the carpet wasn't eaten in the normal sense at all.
To think this with that in mind. I can't pick this candle up. So I just gotta do the candlestick.
Take that!
Yes, to explain the dire state of the carpet, we need only look at the candlestick. Most illuminating, my dear fellow, and of course, the only possible way out of this logical labyrinth. Yes, the remnants of a ferocious attack in which the carpet was devoured are clearly visible. Indeed they are. Scorch marks at the edge clearly give the truth away.
Scorch marks?
It would appear that this room was the scene of a little marital altercation.
Oh,
Mrs. Garrideb's mighty arm muscles left an impression not only on her husband's face, but on the entire room. This force of a strike caused the candle to fall from the holder. And in seconds the carpet was alight, and the whole corner of the room in flames. Yes, sir, for the most ferocious beast in the world is neither a violent lion nor a vengeful woman, but fire. And in this room, that ferocious beast bared its claws and ran amok. Eloquently put, my dear fellow. So you see, there is but one conclusion here. After the sparks of marital discord flew, the room was the scene of a fire. Mr. Sholmes, sir. I salute you! Carpet scorched by a small fire. Easy. Deduction complete. Elementary. This looks like a good place to stop. Next time we'll see how this actually relates to the case. Thanks for watching. See ya.